More signals coming over the scanner frequency. It's very faint.
And all that.
I can't wait to get into my pointed Italian two-tones and off down the high street. Makes you feel like a king. Clean dicky dirt, new Peckham, pair of luminous almond rocks, new whistle, nice crease of my strides, bonnet well greased up, and flash of me Hampsteads and all the bonnet palones.
I didn't understand a single word you said, but it sounded nice.
Guess he can't know everything.
Listen, you fuckers, you screwheads. Here is a man who would not take it anymore. Who would not let... Listen, you fuckers, you screwheads. Here is a man who would not take it anymore. A man who stood up against the scum, the dogs, the filth. Here is someone who stood up. Here is...
The Deacon of Metal Show is back and in full effect, folks. I appreciate you guys listening in. Rock, Louisiana, and Deacon of Metal Show. I've been away from the podcast for a little while, taking care of some personal business, probably for the last few months. So it feels good to be back behind the microphone to talk to you a little bit about a few things, actually. We got a big show tonight, actually, so tell you a little bit about it in a minute. First off, I want to talk to you about the passing of one of the greats today, as of this episode, Ralph Santola, former Deicide and Obituary guitar player. He had some issues last week, I believe, that got him hospitalized. As the story goes, he thought he had a spider bite at one point, and turned out to be a blood clot that forced him back into the hospital with a heart attack, and had since been in a coma. So, unfortunately, they kind of, I guess you could say, pull the plug this afternoon. So it was kind of a tragic situation. I got to see him years ago when he was touring with Death on the Symbolic tour, and it kind of relates all back to the Louisiana scene because he had been working with a couple of high-profile Louisiana musicians, Kyle Thomas, of course, of Exhorder, and Floodgate, and so many other bands, as well as Matt Brunson, who is guitar player for Crowbar. And they had a supergroup going. It was Ralph's project that was called The Devil's Highway, and he was recording it, off and on over the last couple of years, stop, start, and kind of actually, unfortunately, went unfinished. But I think they, as far as this afternoon was concerned, his mother has said on, according to metalinjection.net, that the project will continue in his honor. So we do want to say rest in peace, Ralph Santola, and Godspeed. So, yeah, tonight is a big one, actually. We have got, coming up in a minute, the band Nine Slug. You know, guys, that we love them here at Rock, Louisiana. We play them quite a bit. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and throw on some Nine Slug here. If I can get my machine to freaking work. But that's okay. We'll get it together, won't we? Let's see. This is... Well, maybe it doesn't want to work with me today. I'll be damned. Okay. There we go. This is Rock, Paper, Scissors. This is Nine Slug.
It's all that I could see. It brings me suffering. I'll see it tomorrow.
And we're back, and we're going to be talking this evening, fun-filled hour, at least, with Nine Slug out of Baton Rouge area. And we've got, on the phone, we've got Scarlett, Jade, and Dave with the band. How you guys doing?
Great, man.
Doing great.
Awesome. I'm good, man. I hadn't been on, like I said earlier, I hadn't been on the air for a little while. I'm kind of taking care of some personal business, but you guys, I've been following you guys since the inception of Rock, Louisiana. You guys really kind of, have been really one of the front runners here. We did the countdown a couple of months ago. Well, man, it's been almost a year now that we did it. You guys were right there with it, slugging it out, and we do appreciate all of the. The camaraderie. So, man, let's get into it. You guys tell us a little bit about Nine Slug. Where you guys started, how things got rolling for you guys.
Dave, you feel
That's Dave.
I was playing acoustic music. I had taken a break from a lot of the rowdiness and was doing acoustic stuff, and one of the guys that was a regular brought his son in, and they did a little harder than acoustic show. And the next weekend he brought his other son in, and they had drums and guitar and bass, and they were playing some rock stuff at an acoustic open mic night. And it just set me off. After that, I went and got all new gear and rounded up the guys, and that was it. It was on.
That's awesome. You the sound. And it was, you have to forgive me, the first time I'd ever actually got, introduced to you guys. It's a real visceral sound, which I love. But there's an accessibility there that is just really, it's catchy, it's fun, it's got a lot of positive vibes to it. So kudos for that, man. I just dig everything you guys do. So, you guys, obviously this is not your first rodeo. So you guys have been doing it for a while. Where do you get that balance from?
That one, I would say, is you. The difference with your influences on guitar that influence us, is my opinion on that. And by the way, this is my first band ever. I've never sang in another band.
Wow.
It's my first, too. Dave and Kelly are veterans, and they both have, like, Kelly, he's not here, so I'll embarrass him. He likes to, like 80s pop in his truck. He likes Cyndi Lauper. He's all over the place.
And he got kicked out of a band called Stagger because he drank too much. He's a fun dude. He's an awesome guy.
He is super talented, but and so is Dave. But we all have different tastes. I can only speak for myself, but it's true.
Right. I think that's about right. All the different styles and music that we all like, it all comes together in the back. It does.
And I've noticed, you guys are really seasoned veterans of the scene all over the place. You guys have sat in with different, people and bands and things like that. So do you draw influences off of you think other Louisiana musicians, other ideas tossed around?
Absolutely. Two of my biggest influences are just local Southern singers.
Right.
Metal bands.
Right.
Shout out.
So, let's see. We've kind of been. We've talked off the air several times. Me and Scarlett especially. I've sat in and watched you guys. You guys do live videos, Facebook Live, and all that stuff. So, that's so much fun. It's fun to watch you guys. So there's there's a positive influence from you guys. So you just seem to really enjoy what you're doing, and I guess that's really what it's about.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Enjoying life, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is pretty much it. We enjoy what we do.
So what do you guys got coming up the next few months? I know you're putting out new music right now. We'll get to that in a little bit, and we'll talk about that. But we were talking off the air that you guys actually have a few shows coming up that you want to talk about.
Yeah, well, the last shows we played were the Varsity in February, and then Wicked River Rising's CD release party in Santa Maria, Louisiana, Cajun Daiquiris. We weren't going to play any shows until we finished the album. We started the album January 20th, and it's now complete. So we had just some stuff that flowed through on and just fell into place, and I'll let Miss Scarlett speak on those.
Yeah, so July 7th, we're back at the Varsity, and we're playing with Acadia, Traded Moment, Never,
from back in the day.
Never is a band that, the first iteration of Nine Slug, they used to run around with those guys.
Yeah.
And they're back. I think it's their original lineup.
It is.
So, and that's at the Varsity.
Did you know that?
July 7th. So.
No, yeah, okay.
We need to sell tickets. So
Yes, hit us up for tickets.
Shameless plug.
Well, okay, let's get into that. How can they get tickets?
Oh, we'll send you tickets if you want to come down to Baton Rouge for Varsity.
Okay.
Show up.
We can do that. We can have one waiting for you.
Hit us up on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Or Miss Scarlett.
You can also go. Yeah, you can also go on the event page and buy tickets there.
Colby's not buying those.
I'm not Colby, but the general public.
Well, I'll definitely send our management a link to the event page if you'll give it to me. I'll send it to me through Facebook or whatever, and we'll set you up to where we can get the word out on that for sure.
It's going to be a good show. We played with Acadia a couple times.
It's always been
Acadia is phenomenal. They have such a good stage presence.
Different vibe, but they're always cool to play with.
Yeah.
Great.
What else we got going on?
The following weekend, Friday the 13th, we're at Twist Alarm in Metairie, which is kind of our second home. We love playing there. Their PA is out of this world.
Oh, it's sick.
That place is legendary. I mean, there's so many good shows go through there.
It's so fun. But, we're doing a Friday the 13th show there with Never. We're playing with Never 2 weekends in a row.
Back to back.
And then Wicked River Rising, which is our family, basically, because they're right here from the same area. And, those guys are freaking awesome.
Nice little cut their teeth with back.
Yeah.
In the day in Black Market.
We grew up with these guys. And they have a new album out, too. So, Wicked River Rising, check them out. So, that's
awesome.
That's a Twist Alarm. But
awesome.
our big show, dun, dun,
dun, dun, dun.
They just announced that this week. There is the Summer of the Screams tour, Mushroom Head.
Wow.
And it's a bunch of bands. It's going to be at Southport in Metairie, August 26th. It's Mushroom Head, Psycho Stick, the Browning out of Kansas City, a band called Kissing Candace out of Long Island, Unsaid Fate from Ohio, and Voodoo Terror Tribe out of New Jersey. And then Ventress out of Baton Rouge, and us. Ventress and us are the local support.
Yeah, we have some play with big show with that.
It's a big show.
Yeah, they're awesome. And the guys in all these bands locally that we're talking about that we know, they're great people.
Yeah.
Now Southport is, that's another legendary place, and it looks like I haven't been. I've never been to Southport, but I hear good things. I hear it's huge.
It is.
And a lot of great bands go through there. So let's take a little quick break right now. We're going to get into something called Stepping Sideways. They're out of New Orleans as well. And this is, have you guys heard of those guys?
They just played with Acadia, I think, at Southport. Yeah, I think so. They play with them.
Man, that whole band is just crazy. I mean, it's like little puzzle pieces, But I guess, all of those kind of bands that I like and that probably you like are these little intricate bands that, these intricate songs rather that fit like puzzles, So a lot of dynamic in that band as well. So let's get into this is Path of the Hero. Stepping Sideways, Path of the Hero, New Orleans band. I'm going to be trying to talk to Kadir, the lead singer for Stepping Sideways, here in a couple of weeks. But right now, we're talking to Nine Slugs, Scarlett, Dave, and Jade on the phone, on the bat phone, I guess you could call it. We're on the rock phone. That's what it is. So we're hanging out, talking off air about really what it takes to be a Louisiana band, and I think we kind of hit on a couple of nails there for. It has to be the passion. There's been very few bands out of Louisiana that have, really become international superstars. I guess you could count them all on one hand and have fingers left over. But the idea for, and especially with you guys in Nine Slug, it's the passion of it. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about what we were talking about. I mean, you guys all have stable jobs, and you're able to kind of facilitate this passion. So, where does that? Let's go into kind of maybe your backgrounds, if that's all right. I mean, you guys have actually grown up in Louisiana, seen the music scene.
Not Jade.
No?
I'm from Santa Monica, Louisiana, but I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, that's a contrast.
Yeah.
That's a huge contrast. It's a dry heat, for one.
Yeah, it's out there, too. It's out there, too.
But when you came back here, you were 17?
I've been home 30 years.
Yes.
Okay, well, yeah, you know what's going on then. So, I mean, but, okay, even then, you can kind of take a different perspective, going away and then coming back. So, I know that end of the country has seen a wealth of successful bands, even, in the Arizona area. So, I mean, not as big as maybe L.A. or New York or something like that, but they've had their fair share. How is that different than Louisiana? I mean, obviously, there's a group effort with a lot of the bands today in Louisiana. It's a concerted effort. People get together and really kind of bond, right?
Absolutely. In Arizona, my experience has been that people are standoffish and they're not as friendly, amicable, and trusting as people are here in Louisiana. I mean, here you see what you see is what you get.
Right.
You drive down the road here, you wave at somebody sitting on their porch, they wave back.
True.
As far as the music goes, I mean, you're talking about bands coming out of Phoenix like Flotsam and Jetsam with Jason Newsted.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, badass, just sick.
Yep. Doomsday for the Deceivers, one of the greatest albums ever. So I get what you're saying, but and it's a climate thing too. I mean, they probably stayed a lot in their house and practiced and did all of that stuff and became extremely talented people. Whereas in Louisiana, we were talking earlier that people in Louisiana or musicians in Louisiana are trying to get out. And they're trying to move somewhere else, and they're trying to do. But there has been I guess I want to say a change in what's happened in Louisiana. A lot of I've always thought that, now I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and then when Seattle came along and changed the entire atmosphere of the rock, the whole genre, I always thought like New Orleans was going to be the next Seattle.
Yeah.
And it's still, on some level, it actually has done that. And, I mean, it's kind of grown exponentially with bands out of Baton Rouge and, that area of the state.
Lafayette, Lake Charles, they're everywhere, man.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Oh, yeah. Is that a Slidell, huh? Yeah, no, that's number man. Okay. Anyway, sorry, Colby.
Well, they keep popping up everywhere. You know, like you say, Slidell or Patterson. When you got you know, Acid Bath coming out of Patterson and Morgan City, and you know all of that.
Yeah.
You know, I worked with Acid Bath for a while back in the '90s. You know, bringing them into Lafayette with a lot of when they played at a place called Metropolis. I don't know if you guys go that far back, but it was a downtown Lafayette club, and I mean, it was no holds barred. It was great. You know, but again, those things change. You know, but there've been like, you know, it's kind of like a whack-a-mole situation. You know, one band goes away, another one pops up. You know, but you guys have been staying the course for what now, 15 years, you say?
Yes.
Wow.
We were out of pocket for about 6 or 7. Building houses, raising kids and stuff like that, taking a break. I think you had a little issue with some carpal tunnel or something. Yeah.
Wow.
And then we decided to reunite in 2015. And one of our other bass players, because we've had like 7.
Oh, okay.
Came in,
And like 3 of them were gingers.
yeah, 3 of them redheads. But bass player comes in, plays like half of one song, says, "It's way too loud, it's way too hot, I quit." Rolled his stuff out and left.
Wow.
Oh, we laughed at him. He's one of our best friends.
And I happened to be there because I was excited about the guys getting together. And I was like, I lived right across the street from the practice room.
Uh-huh.
And I had just started playing bass. And
6 months.
They were doing a reunion show. It was supposed to be a one and done. And I was there, and I was like, I want to learn one of the songs. I want to play. And so I was there with my bass in the case, and I was watching. And this whole thing happened. And they're like, okay, you come up. And I'm like, me? Me? I just started playing this thing.
And so you've been playing shows ever since?
Yes.
I didn't have a choice.
Trial by fire.
They said, you can do it, we're going to learn. And you're not cheap.
That's fantastic. So you've got a full summer. We talked about the tickets that you can get at Facebook.com. It's at Facebook.com /9slug.
9slug metal.
Yeah, you can have
Okay.
on that.
Yep.
And it's spelled out 9slug metal.
No, on Facebook is number 9 slug metal.
Okay. I'll put a link up on the Facebook page for Rock Louisiana, and Deacon the Metal Show gets you guys some tickets. Now, I'm going to try and make it out to that show, actually.
It'll be a great show.
Let us know. You'll have tickets and probably some swag waiting for you.
Fantastic. Man, you guys take care of me. That is so cool.
Oh, you're getting your copy of the album as well.
Oh, okay. I will not turn that down. Yeah, man, it's really fun to talk to you guys because you've been in that. You've been in it. You've seen how the scene has changed, the state has changed, and I mean, I'm the same way. I've been out of the scene now, probably here for about 8 years, getting back into it. Doing the family thing for a while, and I decided one day I was going to get back into it and kind of promote what Louisiana had to offer. And you guys are one of the first things to pop up. So, thank you for that and the camaraderie that you guys have shown over the last year for Rock Louisiana and my show. So, it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you, listeners.
Not a problem. Well, look, we're going to get into the new song.
Thank you, Colby.
Yeah. This is...
video?
What's that?
Did Scarlett send you the video?
She did. I haven't gotten to watch it actually yet, but I'm going to be writing a review. I want to get a copy of the album. I'm gonna write up a review as well for Rock Louisiana. So we're gonna post video up there as well. And
you don't have to be nice on the review. Be honest.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. Please do.
Yeah, I mean that's the only way you can kind of improve, But look, so far what I heard, I love, and we're gonna get into this one. Tell me a little bit about Echoes of Resolve.
actually did not write the lyrics. I mean, I do the majority of the lyrics
writes
for this. A friend of ours, the notorious MZ, that's what I'm going to call him.
Okay.
He likes to be anonymous.
He likes to be anonymous, and I will shout him out and say, "I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much." He wrote a song, and he actually told you what it was about. So you want to take that one?
It's really about a self-reflection, and like if you're down on yourself and you're thinking about being down and out, and you resolve to not be that person. You're like your own worst enemy.
And then when you go down that path, you hear the echoes of resolve.
Yeah, that's what it's about, basically. But I know it has...
Knowing yourself when you look in the mirror and not knowing how people see you in society, that kind of thing.
Right.
Right.
So it's kind of empowering, like most of the songs, especially Jade. He's going to write about what pisses him off.
And what to do about it.
And what to do about it. And weak people. That's the thing about that.
They won't let me write lyrics because it'd all be about food.
Something else.
Or a love song. Dave does the most beautiful acoustic music. If anybody gets it,
he is absolutely amazing with that.
His voice, he can sing.
Man, y'all could do something along the lines of an entire acoustic album coming up or something. Man, that would be fantastic because the lyrics that you guys write are, I mean, it's like you say, it's empowering. That's positive and just it's got a lot of substance. So let's get into Echoes of Resolve. This is some new 9 Slug.
I can understand
Echoes of Resolve, 9 Slug, new 9 Slug. And we are on the phone with them at the moment. We were talking off air. Man, look, first off, heavy freaking song. I dig it. It's got this chug at the end that is just relentless. I love it.
He would do that all day on every song.
every song could have chug.
The chug rules, man. I mean, we were talking off air. Let's get into what we were talking about because I think it's important to recognize. You brought up a little something earlier about a riff in the scene, and it wasn't negative or positive. It was just people moved on, became adults. What you were about to say some stuff. Go ahead, Jade.
It's just like it's differences of opinion and stuff like that. And, we were all younger back then. Most of the ones that I'm talking about were late 20s, early 30s. I mean, everybody's figuring themselves out. Well, what I've seen lately, and Scarlett and I actually do show our faces a lot in the scene, is that camaraderie's coming back. These people are squashing this stuff. They're starting to be like, okay, maybe they're thinking it was childish or it's just time to squash this. The music's more important, and it's growing.
Right.
And that is awesome.
People are being adults and maturing and seeing a different side, seeing everybody's side, actually. So it's strength in numbers at that point because you kind of come together and bond. You're sharing bills. You're sharing venues. There's been... And I don't know how it is on your end of the state, but there's been a lot of crossover bills.
Yeah.
Different genres playing on the same night. So that's kind of positive, too, in a way, I think. You kind of get a different perspective of...
acceptance of it and showing that, hey, we can coexist. And I'll give you a great example of that. Us playing with Acadia.
Yep.
We're a lot heavier than Acadia. Anytime they have an opportunity to bring us on or we have an opportunity to play with them, we do it.
Yeah.
It works.
It works. So the show we got at the Varsity, there's actually 2 mainstream acts, Acadia and Traded Moments, and then 2 acts like us, heavy.
Right.
Ever and 9 Slug with that groove. And the dynamic actually works if you structure the bill correctly.
Sure.
And I think people get surprised when they're like, oh, that band's heavy, but when we get up there, they're like, oh, but I like it.
It's never true. And it's Acadia. I mean, I like heavy music.
Yep.
And then I love Acadia.
Well, there's a lot of diversity on the new album, too.
Yes, there is. There's some stuff, Colby, that when you hear it, you're going to go, what?
Wow. And I love that. I love that you can kind of branch out and do your own thing. And, I mean, that has been a time-tested, thing from many national acts, local acts. I mean, you look at somebody like Acid Bath, who is one of the heavier, ended things, and then they go and they do some kind of acoustic, Dax Riggs, kind of a...
Yeah, he's doing an acoustic thing now. He's cool. Me and Dave saw Acid Bath together at the Gonzales, Louisiana Civic Center.
Wow.
Back in the early 90s, man.
I think I remember that show, to be honest with you. I was actually, the video for the Baby Kumi was filmed at the wagon, the wheel in Morgan City, Louisiana, right on the river. That was a hot day. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was there, and it was miserable, but it was, it's legendary type of stuff like the Gonzales Civic Center. But and
Acid Bath is still in my rotation.
Oh yeah,
it'll never get old.
Yep.
I wanted to point something out. I'm talking about doing something a little different as far as the 9 Slug sound. Some of the stuff you're going to be surprised.
Right.
We have a song on the album. Should I tell them the title?
Yeah.
Called Southern Skies.
Okay.
And it's kind of like it's a tribute, but it's also I'm trying not to be ugly on the radio.
No, go for it.
Hey, can I cuss?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, and it's a big fat fuck you to some people.
Yeah. Some people need that.
I've heard people say that the Southern sound down here sounds all alike. That we all play the same kind of music and sound just the same.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can tell you, and you can speak for this, I'm sure, listening to Nice Love. No, we don't. We do whatever we want.
Right.
So we wrote a song called Southern Sky.
Okay.
And it is NOLA sound all over the place, and it's intentional, and it's to say thank you for this sound. And it's a big fat fuck you to everybody that thinks we all sound the same.
You know, it is a predominant sound. I mean, there are several bands that, and it's really not fair to say that they all sound alike, because they do really. When you say the NOLA sound, that can mean anything from blues to jazz to metal, sludge. You know, I recently saw a video, something on YouTube, a documentary called "Slow Southern Steel." Have you seen it?
No.
Man, you
piqued my interest, though.
Go see it. It's got everybody from New Orleans and beyond. I mean, we're talking all the. I mean, you mentioned the what sparked my interest to share this with you was when you said Southern Skies. It's called Slow Southern Steel, and it's all these Southern heavy metal bands and what it takes to be them. So I think you can get a lot of relatability to it when you watch it. I think you'd enjoy that, and I'd love to hear what you think of it. So
I'll check it out.
I mean, they've got a hanging, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, we know a hanging.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know, it was actually before Bobby got in there. I think, who's a total nutcase. I love that guy.
A story about Bobby.
You have a story about Bobby?
Yes, I do.
Well, let's have it. Don't hold back.
I'm Facebook friends with him.
Right.
But I've never actually met him in person. And so, he's a huge Saints fan. I'm a Saints season ticket holder, huge Saints fan. So I see on Facebook that he's at the game.
Uh-huh.
And he's wearing his mask and his cape, and I'm like, I'm going to find this dude. So I ended up finding where he was sitting, and I went over there, and I'm like, Bobby, we're together.
That's right.
Yeah, he's an awesome dude.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun, man. I mean, he's there's not a Sunday during football season that I don't just get really excited to see what Bobby's going to do on social media.
I know. And then Fireball. And Fireball.
Shot!
The season he puts a disclaimer out there. You can unfriend me now.
Exactly. That is so much fun. But yeah, a hanging's in it. I Hate God. Jimmy Bauer is all over that thing too. So it's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, we're going to check it out.
Definitely. Well, man, look, we have enjoyed ourselves this evening, I think. And I always enjoy talking to you guys. I want to talk more with you guys if you have something coming up. I want you to call in the Rock, Louisiana. Let me know what's going on in the near future. I'll keep an eye out for send me the event if you don't mind, and we'll put a link up on Rock Louisiana to promote it as well. So and I will carry my narrow little ass over to see you guys in Baton Rouge. So let's do that. But
absolutely,
I wanted to thank you guys again for calling in this evening. And yeah, man, it's always a pleasure. All on this side of the table, brother. And we'll be talking to you guys soon. Everybody, 9 Slug. Go out, Facebook.com, 9 Slug Metal. And
we also have our new single up on Bandcamp.
Okay.
And it'll be out on the other sites here soon for download.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was released yesterday.
You guys do YouTube at all? I mean, can they find you on YouTube?
Some live footage and everything. We're probably about to release the video that Scarlett made.
Okay.
With the Echoes of Resolve.
Yeah, Echoes will be up probably the 9th.
Probably 9th.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Up there right now.
Well, and like I said, I'll be posting a review of the album as soon as I get it and able to get into it. And we're going to put that link of the YouTube video up there as well to embed it into the article. So everybody can check it out. And go to, like I said, facebook.com/9slugmetal for all things 9slug metal coming up. And, man, like I said, really a lot of fun this evening. Appreciate you guys calling in.
Thank you for having us call in. One more thing, Colby.
Yep.
Offline, hit us up with an email address to send you the full album.
You got it. I'll do it.
Yeah, that way you get it. We can get get out in front of the review.
Okay.
You get the first exclusive on it.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'll be looking for that tonight, as a matter of fact.
Oh shit! He's put the timeline on it. Yeah, you'll install it offline, and we'll get it to you tonight.
It's the MP3s.
Or you won't wait.
The mastered MP3s. It's not even in the pecking order yet.
No, it's not. It's not in any order, but you can hear everything.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's perfectly fine for me. I'll do it this evening. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, Colby. Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too, brother.
All right, folks, that was 9slug, and that was a good interview. I enjoyed it. And right now we're going to get into something called Rohypnol Romances is the Void.
Rise of the devil.
Rohypnol Romance the Void, getting a lot of play out there in New Orleans area. Saw they had some events coming up very soon. I'll have to dig deep for that and figure out what I can give to you as far as times and dates and things like that up in the near future. I want to thank Nine Slug again for checking in and hanging out this evening. If you guys want to come in on the Deacon and Metal show and get your promotion, just like Nine Slug did tonight, you're welcome to. Hit me up at facebook.com/Deacon and Metal show. And we'll work something out. Don't forget, we got a couple things coming up in the near future. I'm going to be around a lot more often here soon because it felt good tonight to do. So
just sing a song and think about sunny.
It'll be a hopeful thing that we can get back and do things the way we used to. So, having said that, stay tuned for more Deacon and Metal show in the near future. Thanks again for tuning in. Appreciate it.